nenywa omwenge ne mpulira kale nga nvuddeko nzenna sikyategeera bintu.
Hi everyone, my name is Shamsa from Lowell Girls School, and today I am hosting the Cool Teens podcast alongside partnering with Topoa Youth Mentoring Group. So today I am with
Kaima Praise from Navisensa Girls School
and
Rebecca Mark from Kahunde Senior Secondary School.
And I can say our topic is quite an interesting one. So we are going to speak about the effects of social media to us, the teenagers. So when I speak about social media, what do you think of, Kai?
When I think of social media, I think they're like interactive platforms where most people you could probably not even know yourselves, but for some reason you end up on this platform, you're talking to each other, and it's a way of making friends and getting connections. Yeah.
So let's make this quite interesting. So Mark, help us tell us what are the social media apps that you know and how you feel about each and every one of them.
When we talk about social media apps, we have Instagram, we have TikTok, we have Facebook, and more social media apps. When we talk about social media apps, they are more interesting. I personally am more interested in TikTok, as I engage in my activities of dog training and handling. So I get inspired by many TikTokers, most of the dog trainers like Michael, Vic Bella, Walusimbi, to mention a few. Go back.
Thank you very much. I actually didn't know that Michael was very much into TikTok, but after this, I'm very sure I shall follow you. So, when I speak about social media, the first thing that I think of is Instagram and the Snapchat and all that comes with it. So, when I am on my social media, there are many influencers, the likes of Lexi and the renowned Instagram people and TikTokers and all that. So when you look at them, you get so enticed to be what they are. So Kai, what do you think about that?
I think we don't really know what happens behind the camera, because obviously on social media it literally portrays an image of someone. It could not be the real person themselves, because behind the photo that's updated, it could be 30 selfies that have been edited, and someone is really going through that trouble of I have to make it look this perfect. And I feel that really puts on a lot of pressure for someone to have the perfect picture, because they need to put out that perfect image for the whole world to see.
Okay, you actually mentioned something about pictures. So we normally don't see what is behind the scenes in the social media influencers that we follow and we like the most. So Mark over here told us he is more interested into his TikToks. So tell us from the inside, because I'm very sure your followers would not know this, but how long does it take you to take one take?
As Kai mentioned about being comparing yourself to several TikTokers, most cases as we take our time trying to look like TikTokers we follow, and ourselves we take time looking for likes, comments, follows, which in most cases end up losing ourselves and getting mental health problems just the way as we want to be like those TikTokers, and we feel we want to resemble exactly the way they are in their daily life and also their way of living. That's all.
Thank you very much, Mark. He has pointed out the point of mental health issues that come with social media. Kai, would you be able to mention for us some of the social media problems that you face apart from the mental health? Actually, elaborate for us what mental health problems you get.
it could start from like anxiety, because you have to put out that perfect image, of which if it's not perfect, like when you look at the picture, sometimes you have to like get that reassurance that it's perfect. Like even though someone tells you that the picture looks okay, you can post it, you feel like no, like it's not good enough. Like this is not the image I'm trying to put out there. They have to see this and not this. You know, they have to see the face of me with the makeup looking good, not me crying and like all down there, and like it really like builds up anxiety. And I could also say it can lead to depression sometimes, you know, when you post something and you feel like it's something you could really be proud of, but then of course there are comments from some people where they are really trashy and they bring you down, and they can eventually like pull down your confidence. So it just gets like a bit depressing about that.
Thank you very much, Kai. Kai mentioned a point, a very big one, a very interesting one that I am very sure all the viewers would want to know. It is that comments. Most of the times people expect the comments to be very nice, but from the comments, that is where everything begins. The bullying, the cyberbullying. Through the cyberbullying, I'm also speaking about body shaming and name calling and all that. So, Mark, you said you're into the TikTok and all that. So do you, at one point, do you get the bullying cases, the cases where you feel like you are not comfortable with one's comment, and what do you handle? What do you do it? How do you handle it?
I personally, to have a flashback, I have ever had a bullying. Let me call it a bullying, but it's in form of identity crisis. Identity crisis is like bullying, but it goes beyond bullying. It's like somebody describing your body appearance in a way which is not good. I remember one day I usually post my pics, some videos when I'm doing my work during my leisure time. I posted out one video. Indeed, it was not nice looking according to the view of the video, and I kept on describing my body, which I recommend or call as fine identity crisis, which is not good in most cases, which made me feel small and among my followers and also my family members, because in most cases my family members take a view of my account on TikTok. So it made me feel uncomfortable in my friends and amongst my family members at large. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mark, you mentioned that your family is involved. How has that helped you? Like, how was that from that scenario? How did you beat back to become the person that you are? How did you push back the comments and block? Did you just block out the noise, or you followed what the comments told you? But I'm very sure if you had followed what the comments had told you, you wouldn't be here with us. So what did you do about that scenario?
Since I talked about my family's taking part of my TikTok account, they advised me never to post such videos again, and also to be myself and have my life, the usual life as me, but not trying to impress the viewers of my account and also my followers at large.
There is a saying that says, be yourself and you'll be loved by everybody. So, Kai, back to you. You previously spoke about the posts and all that, and you mentioned about beauty. So, when you look at a social media personality and you see, like, let me see, most beautiful person that I know, somebody very beautiful like Miss World, when you look at her Instagram, is she pushing you to be to her extent? Are you jealous of what she is or who she is, or you feel like I can do better than that?
Well, in some cases, like before, one of my role models is Ariana Grande, and we all know she's like a beauty mogul in the industry. She does makeup and all those things. And at a point, I wanted to be like her, but then to a certain extent, like I felt like that's not the right way to go. So she just inspires me to like put out more of myself, but not lose myself in the making. And in the midst of all that, I think I'd want to be like achieve more than what she has achieved.
So these social media influencers are not only giving out the bad image that people expect from it, but they're also giving out the good. So over here, I can give you a case scenario. You are on social media. Let's give an example. You are live on any of your social media platforms, and then you get a comment, or you are attacked cyberly. They bully you through what you are doing. How would you handle such a case?
In most cases, I would probably just, put it behind me and like continue like as if I'd not seen it. And after the whole live session has ended, I'd like do a review of like what they are doing, and I'd take some time off to myself to make sure like such comments don't get to me, like do something else like productive, like do some yoga, just take some time to like calm down, not think about it, like find other things that can actually put me back in my mood instead of like dragging me down.
I actually have a belief that most of the times, the people that give out the bad comments are the insecure people. So, how do you like feel when you've had that comment of you are bad, you are, let me say, they are pushing you to do activities that you are not supposed to be doing. You can begin alcohol, you can do anything that is not fit for you as a teenager. So, to get to the basis of all this, so when you look at it, let me get out of the serious tough thing. So when you look at social media, what do you mainly enjoy? Because when I get it from a girl's perspective, I love books. I would maybe Google books and all that. But does that social media, the person that you follow that is into something, does that person push you to be like, I want that? What you want it, but you can't have it. That is the point. So do you understand that at some point you want to do something for yourself? You want to build a name for yourself. You want to expand your social media and all that. Do you understand that you cannot be the person that you want to be if you leave your personality behind?
Yeah. When you talk about social medias, living the person you would like to be, it's really good if you feel like you want to live the person that you want yourself to be. But most cases, personally, I'm a dog trainer by a professional, and I normally follow my fellow dog trainers. That's how I do away with other, maybe engaging in drug abuse, such stuff, because mostly my time is always scheduled, and I always do my work from morning to evening. So making me feel myself when I'm doing my dog training, my dog handling and stuff, I feel good. I almost spend a week or an entire day doing dog training from morning until evening, and feel like everything is moving on well, like the way I would like my life to be moving. Thank you.
In comparison, when we look at all these social media activities, that the pressure that comes with it, we lose our self-esteem, which Kai had already mentioned. You lose what you would have had as in your youth, like because your youth is your prime. So let's not blame all that onto social media. How about you look at it in a way of relationship, like friendships? How has social media influenced you? Because previously there was a comment about Lexi Hansler. She was in some group, very friendly with some girl, and in actual sense they were never friends. But what they show us is not what they are exactly. So Kai, what do you have to say about that mainly?
Well, I have to say that social media pushes you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. That's, for example, you can push out like your friends like in real life, so that you can keep up an image of someone who is like not actually your friend, but because of that social media high stakes where you have to portray this sort of picture, I could befriend a person just for the likes and for the followers that I would get from that whole friendship formed, when it's actually not real. And we have to keep that up, and in the process of keeping that all up, I think you end up losing like a lot of yourself. You keep pushing away your real friends just for something that is not even there, and you could really end up in a bad place.
So over here I have some of the suggestions on how you can handle the social media pressure. How about having a break? You give it time. You say, like, let me say, I'm going to have a break from social media for a month. You can leave it. While you're on for that, you can do something that is very interesting. You can spend time with your family, because family is always going to be family. You can spend time with your friends. You can do co-curricular activities that you would prefer doing. So, Mark, give us suggestions on how you can handle the social media pressure.
When we talk about how to handle social media pressure, first and foremost, you can set out boundaries on how you can manage the social media and your daily life. How engage yourself in different activities. I am an entrepreneur student, and last year we were carrying out our school business project, and we were making liquid soap. To be honestly, it requires very little capital and also some few entrepreneurship skills to start up making liquid soap. So when you set up boundaries on how to use your social media accounts, so you can also engage yourself in different ways of making your life move on well without social media. Then another way of dealing away with social media pressure, you can also follow positive accounts, or follow accounts that are going to benefit you in a way that you're going to benefit, than not letting your normal life down. You can engage yourself and follow the accounts that are going to help you benefit the way you are, regardless of whom you are. You can still go ahead, follow those positive and supportive accounts, other than being there following other accounts that are not adding you anything, not yourself. That's all.
Thank you very much, Mark. Mark has said you should set boundaries. So he said when he said you should set boundaries, he's not meaning you should leave social media for the rest of your life, because how? So he's telling you, limit your time. You know, I am supposed to do this for like an hour. I can't be on this all day. So Mark has given us a proper example of how we should do it. And Kai, I push back the question to you. What are your suggestions on how to handle social media pressure?
Instead of like looking at a post where some famous celebrity has gone like on a trip with their friends, why don't you take that time that you could be using to like scroll through and admire and like compare your life? Why don't you actually like go out, do some outdoor activities? You know, take time with nature. They actually say that when you take in the nature, it's actually a very peaceful place, and I'd absolutely advise that for anyone who's feeling pressured by social media. Like, leave your phone like out, you know? When you wake up in the morning, most people, the first thing they do when they wake up in the morning, not even to thank God for their life, they immediately like check their phone in case, you know, there is like a missed call or some text message. Like, why don't you just switch off your phone for a full day? Do things like, I don't know, engage in like cooking, baking, go do some outdoor activities, engage yourself in like family exercise, you know, connect with people in the real life and not mostly in the virtual.
And what Kai is supposed to mean is that focus on the reality of things. You cannot be the people that you want to be. Focus on the reality. The reality is who you are personally. Spend time with people that make you feel valued. People that give you the encouragement to be what you are and who you are. So, and previously Mark mentioned follow positive people. Like, there are people that are going to be there and tell you, oh, you can use this, you can use this, but in actual sense there are some people that are very positive, and they're going to tell you, I didn't do this today, I didn't go to all these fancy places, but I did this and this. I stayed, I read, I did all that is very purposeful. So let's conclude all this by saying, how has been your journey with social media?
It has been actually very intense. At a point I felt very pressured, and I felt like maybe this is not the way of going things about. So I deleted my social media accounts. And then I realized that there is a lot better to do than just deleting the social media account. You can come back and begin setting boundaries, begin doing things that you wouldn't have done, engaging more of in the reality and not really depending on your fake friends on Instagram or Snap. And it has been okay now. There are more boundaries and it's a happy place.
I'm going to pose the same question to you, Mark. How do you feel like your journey is going to be, or was, after knowing the problems that come with social media?
My journey has been a little bit good since I started being on social media. My journey is still continuing, but I learned one thing when I'm using social media: always post what impressed me personally, but not what impresses other personals or other people. So I learned to be myself, and also learned to live the life I have to live as me, Mark, but not impressing my followers or any other person, my family members. At least now I have a way through when I talk about social media. That's all.
Thank you very much, Mark. And I'm going to give my own personal experience. I am so grateful to social media for some of the things it has taught me: to be happy, to be grateful, and it has become a celebratory journey for everything, though there are the downs, but let's look at the ups. The ups are the very interesting things. So I am very grateful to be hosting today's Cool Teens podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all the social media handles, and please don't forget to follow Mark. What's your username, Mark?
It's Mark Lucky Icons.
Thank you very much. And don't forget to follow Kai
at Priscilla Kai on Instagram.
Thank you. And don't forget to follow me as well on all social media handles as Shamsa Mariam Amari. Thank you for having me. This is the wrap for today. Thank you.